Alright guys, we're back here with another league launch. Announcement 327. It's gonna be a weird one. I think it's gonna be a lot of breach related things. It feels like we're gonna get, my guess is we're gonna get something like the PoE 2 breach bosses in this. And then there's like socketed stuff that's going to be in our tree or in our inventory, like 2 new sockets. I wonder what that, it's going to be like changes the type of breach you have or something. I don't know. I don't really know what to expect from this one. Normally we can speculate on a bunch of different things based on the announcement, but it really just looks like breach, so it's going to be interesting to see what it actually is going to be. Alright. Let's see. Jonathan. Oh, wait, this should be Mark, right? Mark?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games, and welcome to GGG Live. Today we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Keepers of the Flame, which is coming out 1 week from now on October the 31st. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so you'll be able to claim your Hive-born crawler pet by following the instructions below. Without further ado, let's roll the trailer for Path of Exile Keepers of the Flame.
We, the Keepers of the Flame,
I was going to say that
serve the will of the Dreamer.
Oh,
His
yeah.
instructions whispered from beyond the wall of sleep. But now, the Hiveborn are here, on Rayclast, and they seek to poison our world.
Breach maps.
We must close their breaches, destroy their hives, slay their breach lords.
Oh, no waves. Oh, it looks like there's different types. There's like wave-based one, there's like a progress-based one.
And by his gifts, the Dreamer
A
provides.
breach breach.
They brought this war to our world, but we shall end it, whatever it takes.
The Genesis tree. See? Oh, they're actually going to be... You're going to grasp like Elden Ring. Memories are getting above. The memories are getting 3 new bosses. We're getting 2 new item slots to be grafted onto us. And I wonder if Breach is gone. Do you think Breach is gone?
Now, as you can see, this expansion is a true sequel to the Breach League, first introduced to the game in 2016. We felt like it was time to progress the story of Breach, bringing with it a slew of new updates to the base game. In today's stream, we'll take you on a deep dive into Path of Exile Keepers of the Flame, beginning with the League mechanic, covering all the fearsome challenges it presents, and the new twisted ways you'll be able to empower your character.
Oh, okay.
After that, we'll dive into the new ascendancy options possible with Bloodline classes. Then we'll cover the much anticipated and synchronous trade system coming to Path of Exile 1.
No one cares.
Afterwards, we'll move into the new Uber Pinnacle bosses, how to access them, and some new drops worthy of the added difficulty. Finally, we'll cover some notable quality of life improvements before moving on to our supporter packs and challenge
Okay, so
rewards.
it's basically what everyone thought.
We'll then have a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile's game directors Mark and myself your questions from Twitch chat.
Yeah.
And after the live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes at 11 AM New Zealand time or 3 PM Pacific. So let's get started. I'll hand things over to Mark to introduce the new league.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. Breach is a beloved league that has had an iconic history in PoE. We intend to honour that legacy with our first ever sequel league, Keepers of the Flame. This develops every aspect of Breach, adding new layers to discover, richer lore, scarier bosses, and entirely new mechanics. That said, this is still Breach, so you will still be opening breaches and slaying hordes of otherworldly monsters.
So it is replacing.
The Breach Lords have found the means to stabilize the connection between their realm and Rayclast. Now, with their grip tightening, we learn their true goal in our world: conquest. The threat they pose has now escalated to home soil. On the coast in Act 1, you'll encounter Aelith, the founder of the Keepers of the Flame. This is a monastic order sworn to defend Rayclast from the Breach Lords. The exit to the Mudflats has been barricaded by Hiveborn, Breach monsters that are working to claim every inch of Rayclast. Aelith can grant you a small spark of the power of the Flame, allowing you to blast away their barricade and move onwards. Once you enter the Mudflats, you'll find it infested with Breach monsters. They appear to be constructing a kind of hive, creating strange shapes and structures that absolutely don't belong. Time to purge them with fire.
Flipping me off?
Aelith needs you to protect her as she empowers the Flame to do so. Hold off the assault long enough, and she'll be able to demolish the hive with cleansing flame.
I wonder how that protection thing is going to work.
In other areas, the gap between worlds is strained. Here, you'll find a more familiar encounter with a new twist. A massive breach hand sunders the space between dimensions, and touching it will open an unstable breach, causing monsters to flood in. If you can slaughter them quickly enough, you can stabilize the breach. This brazen action can draw the attention of Vroon, Marshal of Zesht, who will do everything it can to stop you. Defeating this boss will permanently seal the breach, severing another connection between the Breach Lord's world and Rayclast. These stabilized breaches are similar to what a breach once was, but with upgraded monsters, a success condition to shoot for, UI tracking to keep the player informed of their progress through the encounter, and satisfying feedback when you do manage to complete the encounter. We've taken all the lessons we've learned since the release of Breach 9 years ago and improved upon it in every way we can. However, much of the joy of Breach came from its simplicity. While we want to modernize the mechanic, we don't want to undermine the core experience. You're still mostly just slaughtering hordes of enemies in a circle. Finally, in endgame areas you might run into breach constructions that have been left unopposed for too long, and have grown into their full twisted glory. Breach hives. Towering flesh-crafted cities in the sky. These are the visions of the Breach Lords made real in Rayclast, teeming with breach monsters. You must raid and destroy these cities with the help of Aelith and her flame.
They got rid of the map.
In some of these hives, you may even encounter some of the Breach Lords themselves, who will not be happy you're intruding on their planned conquest.
Okay. Wow, it really is just everything
now,
I thought it was
let's
gonna be.
talk loot. Of course, being in exile is hard work, and you're unlikely to help entirely out of the goodness of your heart. Fortunately, Aelith has power and rewards aplenty, born of the Breach Realm itself, to offer you for your assistance.
What a weird
Help
build.
her, and she'll bring you to the Monastery of the Keepers, the hallowed halls of her order. Here, you'll find the Genesis Tree, the growing heart of the Keeper's power. On interacting with it, you'll find that this tree has a tree.
This.
That's right. It couldn't be Path of Exile unless the tree also had a tree. More importantly, the Genesis Tree is an engine of unholy creation, and a profitable one.
Fuel it.
As you complete breach encounters and work more with Aelith, you'll be able to grow the Genesis Tree larger and larger, sprouting additional limbs. Each of these limbs, you'll notice, has their own inventories. These can be used for an unusual method of crafting new items. With this system, you'll be able to grow currency, uniques, equipment, and a new kind of otherworldly item, grafts.
Oh, so
Grafts
like
are
based
breach
on where
hands
you
grown directly from the
grow
Genesis
different
Tree,
items.
born of the same flesh and sinew as the invading monsters. These fuse directly to your body, in a completely safe process. Don't worry about it. With grafts, you can harness the power of the breach.
I like that.
Some provide passive benefits like this, or this,
15.
but they can also grant a wide selection of powerful skills. These graft skills can provide a flexible way to fill gaps in your build, offering everything from damage to potent defensive buffs and crowd control.
What is that?
For example, the Battering All graft will call massive arms to erupt from the earth, stunning all those they hit.
154,000.
For some additional
basic.
pack clearing power, you could consider the Squalling
That's
Tool graft.
Crazy.
When commanded, this graft will cast Dance in the White, creating a deadly ice tornado which aggressively seeks enemies and fires off bursts of ricocheting projectiles when you critically strike with skills. For some further utility and a useful buff, try out the Storming Ash graft. This can be commanded to call down a ring of bolts from the sky that will leave behind the new Radiant Ground. Radiant Ground grants a potent damage buff to allies standing within it and makes their hit damage lucky.
Oh.
If you're simply after raw damage, look no further than the Erupting Zoth graft, which causes massive eruptions of fire where you command, which then re-erupt when you Warcry.
It's not the 150,000.
There are a
damage
total
one?
of 16 different graft types you can grow, each with their own skill. You can even unlock a second graft slot as you progress through Aelith's questline.
Wait, that's
So
crazy.
feel
What if
free
you-
to mix and match Flesh Zone horrors to your heart's content.
What if you have two 150,000
Now,
damage
grafts
ones?
aren't just here to make you stronger. They are also your means of feeding the Genesis tree, which needs constant supplies of graft blood to grow anything useful. You can do this by defeating breach monsters, which will leave behind
Hello?
blood that your graft will automatically collect. When you feed this blood to the tree,
No, I'm lagging. No, it's actually me.
your allocated passives will be put to work.
Oh my god.
These specific types causes great
Oh my god.
amount of quality. Quality improves the amount of blood that can be stored by your grafts. This section of the Genesis tree births currency items. Basic passives can result in more or better currency. Allocate this passive to sometimes cause a shower of currency to burst forth from the flesh of the tree. Yeah, it's a bit gross, but working with the organic matter of a bunch of dead otherworldly creatures
in your
was
hideout?
never going to be a clean affair. Grafts themselves are born of a different world, so are unmodifiable by most currencies.
Jesus. 80,000
However,
base damage.
with this passive, the Genesis tree can occasionally grow fleshy mockeries of currency orbs. These function like augmentation orbs, regal orbs, or exalted orbs, but they work on your grafts instead of normal gear.
Oh.
Yep, it's graft crafting.
I thought we were going to graft on our regular
Allocating this passive can result in foul-born currencies. This
Oh,
foul-born exalted orb, for instance, behaves as a normal exalted orb, except it guarantees a higher tier modifier. By locking out a large portion of the lower
Not
rolls,
good.
a normal exalted orb would be able to hit.
fire damage.
The largest section of the Genesis tree is used to grow rare equipment items. For these, you have a lot of agency to influence the type and modifiers on your grown item.
Ooh.
For example, you can specifically target
Acropolis League.
boots with a dexterity requirement, with an increased chance for speed modifiers, and reduced chance for cold modifiers. Or maybe you'd prefer to look for a two-handed axe with increased chance for physical modifiers. This section
Oh,
of
it's
the
just
tree
two-handed,
is for
it's two-handed
growing
axe.
unique items. Similar to the equipment section, there are passives that let you target growing specific types of uniques or rarer uniques.
Is there
The
not
process
just, like,
of growth is not always a perfect one, however, and can
specific
result
uniques
in
you
some
can always spawn with this?
defects. This passive can result in birth uniques becoming foulborn, which mutates one of the existing modifiers on the item into a new one, resulting in some interesting new ways to use that unique. For example,
It could take the
this
negative
foulborn
sides.
quill rain no longer has increased projectile speed, but instead has increased area of effect. Another foulborn quill rain could replace the mana gained on hit with the much more powerful modifier where insufficient mana doesn't prevent your bow attacks.
Can it hit 30% less
Here
damage?
are some other examples.
Oh, it looks like it's static. It looks like it always hits the same thing.
This passive even gives a rare chance for Foulborn uniques to have multiple different modifiers mutated.
That's a lot less.
I'm
crazy
sure
than I
you'll
was
come up
thinking.
with some extremely powerful uses for these. We'll leave it up to you to discover what this mysterious part of the Genesis tree can grow. So, ultimately,
Boss
you'll be
tokens or
slaying
something,
masses of breach monsters, harvesting blood with the aid of your grafts, feeding that to the Genesis tree, growing some items and better grafts, and back again to the slaughter. As with all our challenge leagues, this league will come with a set of 40 challenges to pursue, and completing them will award you with the Keeper of the Flame armor set, allowing you to truly embrace becoming a monk and worshipping the Dreamer.
I don't love that.
Now,
really
graph
my
skills
style.
won't be the only new tools to play with. In 327, we're also adding a collection of new skill and support gems.
So much
Let's go
of
over them now.
Reaper and Link skills.
Kinetic Rain is a new wand attack, which covers the ground in unstable kinetic energy.
Absolutely.
These hazards collapse at the slightest touch, releasing their energies into any unfortunate soul who happens to be standing on them.
Oh, the
With
little
enough
ball.
projectiles and area of effect, an enterprising exile could carpet the world in dangerous kinetic force. Wall of Force creates a barrier of kinetic power, causing allied projectiles to ricochet towards targets automatically. Drop one behind a boss and redirect the bolts of your armies. I'm sure you'll find ways to break this
I
one.
can't tell what's happening.
Conflagration is a new bow attack, which rains down fiery bolts from above that stick into the ground and pulse as you approach. Once you get close enough, these bolts detonate, causing ravaging ignites. These bolts chain react, allowing you to create fields of incendiary destruction.
That's actually... I'm chain reacting.
Thunderstorm is a bow attack, which creates a whirling storm of wind and lightning where it lands.
Oh.
While you're within the storm, it will rapidly grow, until it becomes violently thunderous with lightning-infused clouds. At this point, leaving the storm will cause it to detonate, dealing damage to everything within and releasing a flurry
How
of
does
tornadoes in
totems work
all
with that?
directions. Attacking with Kinetic Fusillade will create hovering orbs of energy. These linger for a few moments above you, before zipping off to nearby targets, chaining between them, then detonating.
The risk of Rain 2 skill.
Living Lightning
The lunar.
support will bring to life living sparks of energy, elemental minions that zap through packs of enemies with speed and ease. Use these alongside your spellcasting to augment your pack
Those
clearing
look
abilities,
like they're doing
or
negative damage, by
find
the
whatever
way.
means possible to cover the world in living sparks of ruin. Windburst support unleashes chaotic tornadoes as you attack, which ricochet around wildly and quickly. These deal moderate damage as they travel,
Oh, the
but will
tornado. I was like,
explode
this is
into
a
a
tornado
highly
shot.
damaging burst when they expire. So it's a choice between scaling their duration up to get better coverage, or down to access the burst more quickly. Kinetic Instability is a support gem to go along with the new wand attacks that causes enemies slain to leave behind those same orbs of shimmering energy that Kinetic Rain creates. One might ponder just how many orbs you can create if you were to use both. In
Use both and the
327,
lightning guys?
exiles will be able to absorb the power of some of the bosses they defeat.
Oh yeah, there's new ascendancies
These take
too.
the form of new Ascendancy class options, called Bloodlines. Bloodline classes are a new means of character customization in the endgame. They are secondary Ascendancy classes that are unlocked by defeating specific endgame bosses. They are allocated with your normal Ascendancy points, and you'll have to choose how many of your points go into the original Ascendancy and how many into your Bloodline class. This means there is a nigh limitless ability to mix and match here,
Are you
as you
limited
could choose
what
to invest
characters
just a
can do
couple
it?
points into your bloodline, or max it out.
Or
And
can
you could
any
take
class
any
pick any
bloodline
ascendancy?
with any base ascendancy class that you see fit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
To unlock your bloodline, hunt down the endgame boss whose power you desire, and defeat them. Or have a friend help, and claim the power for your own. There are
Oh,
10
they're like,
bloodline classes
mini
to
ones.
discover. Bosses who offer this power are typically associated with past leagues, giving additional reasons to engage with that league content.
Oh,
Let's
shit.
run over a few examples. The Chaos Bloodline will be offered to you by the Trial Master,
Oh no.
if you manage to succeed his final challenge.
Oh my god, I'm lagging.
You can
Oh my god.
greatly augment your Val skills in different ways.
Please.
Priest of Yalmak lets you use Val skills much more often, while Priest of Kopek makes it harder to build up Val skills, but makes them far more powerful. Or take Corruption's Embrace, which grants more Val Keystone powers the more corrupted items you have equipped. The Ashabi bloodline can be gained by, you guessed it, defeating Ashabi. Her abilities are drawn from the 3 types of life force that manifest within as Marian spirits.
I have to like rewatch that.
The Wild Bear rewards you with adrenaline for generating rage. The Vivid Cat gives your elusive buffs a chance to refresh, as well as making you more stealthy while elusive. The Primal Owl allows your unleashed spells to reoccur many additional times, and get stronger for each time they reoccur.
+3.
The Nameless bloodline
I feel like we're gonna be so
comes from the King in the Mists.
with the graphs and the extra ascendancy.
Be forewarned, his menacing power comes at a great cost.
Oh my god.
With the Unseen Hand, you can equip a 3rd ring. But you'll have to decide if that comes at the expense of having no amulet, no belt, or no flasks.
No flasks.
Light Silhouette adds a hefty life cost to all your spells, but they deal additional chaos damage based on the amount of life spent. Of course, there is more to come. What powers might you glean from delving deep underneath Class to fight all the Crystal King? What secrets can you learn from Lycia, Herald of the Scourge?
Oh my god, internet, please.
As you can make combinations with the system, you could be a Slayer that embraces corruption and vile power, or perhaps you'll play an Occultist that doubles down on their dark power by integrating the Nameless bloodline. We are excited to see what crazy and interesting builds players come up with.
How does it work in PoE 2?
In the most recent Path of Exile 2 expansion, the 3rd Edict,
Oh. I don't know. Internet has gotten so bad recently.
catches your eye. Every purchase costs a small fee of gold, as Faustus takes his cut. To account for this further drain on gold, acquisition and cost balance elsewhere in the game has been adjusted. Anything you've managed to sell successfully will have your profits collected here, in a separate tab to claim at your leisure. To be clear, previous means of trading, such as via pre-existing premium stash tabs and the website, will still function just as before. Merchants tabs, and the asynchronous trading that comes with them, are an entirely additive feature on top of the already existing methods to trade. You might find yourself needing the trade system to buy some upgrades, because this update also introduces 3 new Uber Pinnacle boss fights. These encounters are manifested from the memories of Zana, and in her long torment, they have festered into something truly deadly. These fights offer an imposing challenge, alongside powerful rewards. In order to gain access, similar to existing Uber Pinnacle fights, you'll need to discover fragments dropped by Tier 17 map bosses. Each attempt at the new Uber Pinnacle fights will require 5 of these. Let's dig into some of the challenges you'll need to face in these new Uber versions.
Got a Cortex?
In the original incarnation of Neglect fight, the statues can be used to block the laser beams to hide behind, giving you an opportunity to avoid being shocked, frozen, or killed. When you run near these statues, they activate and allow you to reposition them. While activated, they will not stop the lasers, meaning you want to position them well, then avoid them. However, In the Uber version of this fight,
No.
instead of being a safe haven, the statues will refract the laser beams, causing a ruckus of energy to cover the arena. Activating them will prevent the refraction.
They're not
So
just
unlike
not
the base
there,
fight, where you
they're
want to position them
worse.
well and then avoid them, you'll be wanting to constantly keep these statues active.
I mean,
But then you have to deal with their assault of attacks. While fighting the incarnation of fear, these fiery orbs will slowly clutter up the arena, locking off portions of it until you bait the boss into detonating them himself with his thrown spear. When Uberified, these orbs are attached by a flaming leash to the boss, rotating around him constantly. More and more will spawn as the fight goes on, making it even more imperative
He'll
that you
never
clean them
detonate
up by cleverly using the boss's abilities against him.
Oh no, he will.
Normally in the Incarnation of Dread fight, during the bullet hell phase, you have to acquire a red rose, run it to the boss, then collect a blue rose, doing the same, causing it to get heavy stunned and interrupting its mechanic. In the Uber version, you have to do the same, but in order to get the blue rose, you have to defeat the Incarnation of Neglect, and to get the red rose, you have to defeat the Incarnation of Fear. Good luck. Given the difficulty of these bosses, their rewards should be worth your while. Let's take a look at some.
What? That
From the
sounds so
Uber
hard.
Incarnation of Neglect fight, we have Bitter Instinct, a spiky shield that turns retaliatory strikes into preemptive ones, making it just a matter of time before the long arm of justice crushes your foes. Alternatively, you might find Festering Resentment, a poisoned blade with an unending supply of toxins built into the hilt. These toxins are put to good use, causing every spell you trigger to be capable of poisoning with all damage it deals, enabling a truly crazy trigger-centric poison ruckus. And from the Uber Incarnation of Dread, the Hallowed Monarch, a counterpart to the Dark Monarch, which focuses more heavily on investing into one or a few minions, rather than growing your
Oh my god. Internet, please.
hordes to massive proportions. Storm Rayclast, with your chosen few at your side, stealing power from your enemies as you go. We've got a number of quality of life changes to bring to 327 as well. Many of which you may have seen already in some of our pre-livestream teasers,
I was
but
hoping
for
the
those who
link thing would
haven't,
be different.
Heist is a mechanic which has long frustrated some players who may otherwise have been interested in the rewards it has to offer, but have no desire to grind through the early progress of finding and running low-level contracts to get all of the rogues to their maximum level.
There's no point to doing
starting
Heist.
in 327, Heist rogues will automatically begin at maximum level,
Doesn't really
so you can
matter.
start your dubious criminal career without all the busy work.
There's just
Points
no point for
invested
Heist.
into your Atlas passive tree will now be refundable with gold. Just speak to Kerak to do so.
Oh, interesting.
For players who love
this
jumping
doesn't-
between strategies,
That's kinda
there's
nice.
also an option to instantly refund your entire tree, which of course can now also be done with your regular passive tree as well. Now you can make all your decisions with no regrets.
I'm usually
Well,
one and done on my trees.
Maybe some regrets. You no
One's left,
longer
one's
need
right,
to
one's
purchase
center.
bestiary orbs. You can now itemize beasts for free directly from your bestiary. From late Act 1, you can now mass identify your items at an NPC in every town, and from Helena in your hideout. This does not require Scrolls of Wisdom at all. While using an Alteration Orb, you can
Doesn't
now hold
require
Alt
Scrolls of
to swap to using an Augmentation Orb, if one is available.
Interesting. Doesn't.
Opening a
So there's
blight
no point
chest
to
will
ID
now
scrolls
open
anymore.
all other blight chests near it.
That looks
Rogue's
nice.
disenchanting services can now be accessed from towns and hideouts. Kerak missions now have a handy icon to show at a glance what kind of mission they are.
Oh, that's actually
Holding
nice.
down Control and right-clicking on stacked decks will now continuously open them to your inventory, notifying you in chat what the outcome is. If you still want to open them direct to the ground, to let your loot filter provide a dose of dopamine, you can still do that too by also holding Shift.
That's probably going to be the way to do it.
Val orbs can be used on monsters encased in essences, to the same effect that remnants of corruption have.
I wonder if you do that thing while they're in your stash.
When multiple skill gems are ready to level at the same time, you'll now be able to click this button to level them all up at once.
Okay.
Next up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs.
Okay, so that's the League.
Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs. The Champion of Theopolis and the Verdant Magus packs. Each tier contains
Get
the
your
pack's
credit
full
cards.
face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Champion of Theopolis series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. Manifest a champion's ferocity, as the Lion's Might unique finisher effect rips your enemies to shreds. Open the Champion of Theopolis portal to end your crusade through maps in the style expected of a true victor of the arena. Defeat your enemies like a true gladiator, wearing the Grand Champion of Theopolis armor set. The armor awarded only to the most elite warriors of the Grand Arena. Take charge of the situation and storm into combat with the Flaming Minotaur's Quicksilver Flask effect.
Looks like you're
The Champion's Podium map
We were
device
ending it.
rises up to honor the glory you've achieved
What the
as you
hell?
activate it.
Ascend the stairs and stand atop the platform as you enter your maps. Each flame surrounding the platform represents a remaining use on your portal.
What's the MTX?
The burden-back billy goat carries all the supplies necessary for a campsite as he travels behind you in battle. When placed in a hideout, instead of roaming around like your other pets, their supplies are deployed, creating a small camp where you can access your stash and providing a place to take a load off while you rest next to the campfire.
Wait, can you
The
actually?
Verdant Magus series contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
El Pulpi.
Having Faustus sell your items on your behalf is great and all, but sometimes you just want to feel a little bit more
Borderlands
shady
4.
about your dealings. The Back Alley Trader hideout decoration is more secretive with your trades, creating distance between you and your customers. Note that until 327 is released, this Back Alley Trader will only serve as your currency exchange. Once it's out, it will be updated to have the new Managed Shop option to also facilitate your trades. The Verdant Wayfinder pet is a loyal companion to any Master Magus.
How can you
As
link
you
this
approach
with the
waypoints,
trading?
it envelops them with its vines, guiding you throughout Rayclast.
I would have to buy
Control
trading
Earth and
stuff?
nature itself, as the Great Verdant Magus armor set envelops you in the ancient power now lost to time. There's also a matching back attachment included. Remnants of the forest ripple out from within you with the Verdant Magus
nice.
level up effect equipped, restoring life to the corrupted land. Call on an ancient golem to use their power to create a safe passage for you to retreat through with the
I'm more
arcane
vibing with
golem
this,
portal.
This supporter pack is
As
I'm
a
way more
Supreme
vibing
Verdant
with.
Magus, you can travel to your Arcane Isle hideout. A cluster of islands
Man,
held
actually,
together by
it's
ancient
so much
magic
better than the other
passed
one.
down between elite mages. Stand atop your tower and relish the great heights you've reached above those who have not harnessed the arcane.
Wait, can you actually get to the
These
bottom
packs
parts?
are now available for purchase on both PC and console and will remain so during Path of Exile Keepers of the Flame. Additionally, any microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2.
The
Meanwhile,
second
the
supporter pack
Crypt
is
Keeper
so much
and
better.
Frisian Magistrate packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Keepers of the Flame League. So now's your last chance to purchase them.
Which one of this?
Thank
did I
you
get
so
last
much
time?
for your ongoing support.
I don't remember either of these.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile Keepers of the Flame at 11 AM New Zealand time, 3 PM Pacific. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news. Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to holding off the Breachlord's conquest, crafting gruesome grafts, planning dozens of Bloodline-empowered builds, and filling out our trees tree. We hope you all join us.
Trees tree. So that's gonna be interesting with. It's kind of like Necropolis, and Yeah, it's kind of like Necropolis, but in a tree form. Oh, no, you guys started way too early. Then there's like
Jonathan and Mark, lead guys who make.
There's like the different zones that are going to be replacing Breach starting the campaign. I wonder when we could start making items. Like, how quickly can I get a unique item? Because if I make that on the tree and drop it, I wonder if there's a way, also with the graphs, I wonder if you can like equip the high level graphs or like within range, probably like 10 levels or something. Maybe like previous leagues, like Mercenaries, where you're dealing like hundreds of thousands of damage.
Cycle for the games.
That'll be interesting for releveling.
And it seems to be working.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly hard. I'll tell you that, right? Like, it can be pretty brutal on some.
I guess I want to try and league start one of the new skills too.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have to do it, right? Like, I mean, that was
I need to rewatch the Ascendancy stuff,
the regular schedule. It's super
or I guess I'll
important.
just wait for
We
patch
actually-
notes and I'll do it there because
we have to make sure that
it'll show all of them.
going forward. But yeah, I would. Honestly, I'm so happy that we managed to, to get
The
everything
minion one looked so bad. It like didn't even kill a single pack of white mobs.
Crazy here.
And all the other ones were like full clearing screens.
And things seem to be in finished state as well.
I wonder if there's just supposed to be a support
We're all
trigger.
right for sort of getting that production process down,
for other
making sure
skills.
everything's, going well. Like,
The minion link stuff was unfortunately locked behind Uber items. Like, come on. Come on.
Production job. But it's something that we're really concentrating on, making sure that because when you've got a schedule like this, when it's this tight,
I think it's going to be a okay league.
because,
I don't think it's going to be
I would
anything
say one of
special.
The hardest things that we didn't
People will be
expect
here for like a
was
month.
to get the
No,
schedule
I don't even know
short.
if they'll be here
We
for a
just started
month.
to become really vulnerable to
2
just, like, random things like this
weeks to
person
4
gets sick or,
weeks.
like, something like that, and
And
it's
they'll
like suddenly it's
probably will fall
trouble.
off.
That's been real hard to adapt to, but yeah, I mean, honestly, we have to do it.
Because I mean, we're only what, a month and a half away from the next PoE 2 league. It's so weird to think.
You slip a week or two, but now all of a sudden, now you got
They're already like
overlap with 327
going on to PoE 2 right now.
It certainly has less room for error, but again, that's why
Yeah.
production staff should
I
help.
think it'll be okay.
We are just going to get better at it.
Yeah.
But yes, we made it to 326 and now 327, mostly on schedule, give or take. One was you could argue one's an anomaly, 2 is a pattern, so hopefully it should continue as
Yeah,
normal. But
they've been doing
we'll get
better
at
on the
it
schedule the
100%,
last
so
2.
We'll work out the kinks, but it was always going to be some growing pains to going to 6 releases a year for across both Path of Exiles. So.
Yeah, I remember thinking when you guys were doing 4 releases a year that was crazy. So 6 is pretty wild. But,
I still don't agree with it.
It seems to be
It
happening, so
seems
fingers crossed it keeps
wrong
happening.
to me
Is
to
the
do.
contingency just that, like,
But-
occasionally you just might delay by a few weeks here? and there?
I don't want to. I really want to be real strict about
okay.
it. Like,
Yeah, we said we'd stick to the time and adapt the content around the time. Like consistency is key. So hopefully we can keep doing that. That's our
Yeah, I don't like
still
that.
our
I'd
current
rather have
philosophy
content
and
wrapped
plan,
around the
so-
time.
I think you were telling me once before, Jonathan, that when you have that for a while, it kind of helps everyone get an
Time
idea
wrapped
of,
around
like,
the content,
scoping a lot
not
better.
content
Yeah,
wrapped around
absolutely.
the
I mean, look, it
time.
helps with everything, right? It helps with the players just feeling the consistency. It helps with like developers. Like it's just overall like a way better state to be in.
So, Breach 2, aka Keepers of the Flame.
I'm gonna.
It's the first real direct sequel
dip
league
out.
in PoE. Now, I know we're kind of sequeling
I
with
don't
stuff in PoE 2.
really
There's like definitely follow-ups there, but this is
wanna
the
watch
actual
the
first
interview.
true sequel league, and it seems like people are pretty keen on the idea. I think the reception
Seems like
has
the
been
league's pretty
good so far,
straightforward.
first
There's not
impressions.
much to that I'm wondering or
What
curious
are your guys'
about.
thoughts on doing a sequel? Were you like anti-sequel, pro-sequel? Because I know people kind of...
Give us a
I would say
light
personally
sequel.
that like
Holy.
so whenever you do a sequel, you're entering a dangerous territory because people who didn't like the original could
WASD
now be
is
like,
not
I'm
coming.
disappointed because
They've
they,
said it
like
a
as soon as they
billion
hear that it's a sequel to something they didn't like, they're like, it's
Okay.
obvious you could just be ruling out a bunch of people in your audience right away. Now,
GG.
Breaches I would say is a pretty
See you guys
popular
on the
one, so
bunch.
like there's less danger
Safe,
there.
yeah.
But effectively, in order to make a sequel to something, I think you really